Number 3.
Before I met my husband, I lived with my parents in my small hometown, which I won't reveal the name of. There were limited jobs, and even more limited for college students like myself who could only work odd hours. I got a few night shifts at a local pizza joint, being a delivery driver. Being a female, this made me nervous at first. This was because of all the deserted country roads and late hours of delivery and shady customers I had to deal with. But hey, I needed the money for fuel, books and snacks, etc. And my parents always wanted me to be working to teach me the value of hard work and money. Things went okay at first. I met the other drivers and became friendly with them over the next month or two. Then, my boss hired an older man, I'd say late 50s, to be another driver. His name was John. He was very friendly to everyone at the store, always smiling, laughing and whatnot. But as the weeks went on, he started to make comments to me when we weren't around the other drivers. The comments started out as,
"Do you know that you're really pretty? You're the prettiest girl that works here."
and the like. I said thanks and shook it off, creeped out and just wanting to end the conversation. I even told my boss about his comments, and she told me something along the lines of,
"He's just a lonely old man. He doesn't mean anything by it."
Pretty soon my fellow drivers were saying,
"Hey, Jane, did you know that John has been saying things about you to us? Like how pretty you are and stuff like that?"
I was creeped out and I told my mum, and she said if I didn't deal with this man and tell him to fuck off, then she would. It's the next comment that he made that really creeped me out though. One day, while prepping food, he comes up to me and says,
"Did you know that people often tell me that I fit the profile of a serial killer?"
After this, I flipped out. I quit my job, and once I was working somewhere else, I no longer thought about John. My parents often ordered takeout, and since he knew where I lived from previous deliveries, he would always be the one to deliver to my door. He would always ask my mum,
"Is Jane home?"
which, of course, my mum would answer with,
No, she's moved to her own place, out of town."
She said this to make him think that I wasn't in the home anymore. I don't know if John had any malicious intent, but why would he say such creepy comments to me?
Number 2.
My story isn't very long, but it's still a bit unsettling nonetheless. My job is as a delivery driver for a popular pizza place. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now and have dealt with my fair share of oddball people. Last year, about a week or two before Christmas, I was at work getting ready to take a delivery. Nothing out of the ordinary. That is, until I got into my car. A man in his 30s or 40s and a girl, perhaps in her teens or 20s, they were walking towards me. She was holding a plastic bag with what appeared to be jumper cables in it. She stopped by the front door of the restaurant, and then she wouldn't move any further. That's when the man walked up to me.
"Excuse me, but our car won't budge. Would you mind giving us a jump?"
Sorry, I replied.
"I would, but I have orders in my car that I have to take and I can't be late. I'm sure someone inside would be more than happy to help you out. Whereabouts is your car?" "Across the street, behind the post office."
Bear in mind, there are no streetlights behind this post office. It's completely pitch black. I thought it was kind of odd. This was at night, and no one would have any reason to be behind the post office. Also, when I told him that I couldn't help, a look of irritation and disgust came over him. At that point, I didn't blame him. It was cold out, and they just wanted to get the hell home, right? But here's why I got uncomfortable. When I told him that they could get help from someone inside, they just walked away. They didn't even bother to go in at all. Call me crazy, but if you or I or anyone else was needing a jump, you'd ask everyone around, right? I can't help but feel that it was a front and they were planning to mug me. It's a small town with virtually zero crime, so I feel bad jumping to that conclusion, but around Christmas time, people get desperate and stupid. When I told several friends and co-workers about what had just happened, they all said that they were convinced that I was about to be mugged, or worse. I don't like firearms, but I am planning to start carrying around pepper spray with me just in case it ever does happen. I can only hope that it never does.
Number 1.
I'm your normal teenage girl. I like shopping and I like hanging out with friends. So I guess you can probably understand how happy I was when my parents told me that I could stay at home by myself while they went to see a sick family member for the night. My auntie, her name's Jenna, she was informed that she had cancer a few months back and she was not doing that good, and my mum was afraid she wouldn't make it much longer. So that's why they had to go so soon that night. My dad, being the guy that he was, he wanted me to call one of my good friends over to stay with me. That was fine with me, as it just so happened that I was planning on calling her anyway. Okay, so fast forward a little bit. So now my friend is at my house and my parents are giving me the hugs and kisses just before they go. About 30 minutes later, we felt like pizza. My mum left some money on the table for us so that we could get a snack and some pizza or something. So about 20 or 30 minutes go by and there's no sign of the pizza guy. I can remember telling my friend 5 more minutes and it's free, before the loud knocking on the door. I opened it, waiting for the same old. That'll be $20 and the old "have a nice night" that I remember so well. But it wasn't like that at all. If anything, it was a total change from what they normally do. It was a man with black hair, and he was wearing a really dirty shirt. I remember my friend giving me a long look as if she wanted me to shut the door and just forget about it. After what seemed like an eternal awkward silence, but could have only been a few minutes, he spoke.
Yeah. Are your parents home?
He asked as if he was trying to see behind us. I said no, and that was the biggest mistake I could have made that night. He spoke again.
Well, the pizza is in my car. I didn't bring the pizza delivery car since this was my last house. You can come get it.
I said,
Yeah, sure. Let me get my shoes on.
He replied with,
Yeah, okay, but hurry, it's getting late.
I grabbed my shoes and head back to the door where my friend looks like she's in shock or something. I ignore it and ask the man how much it is again. He started talking about how since it was his last house, it was free of charge. Then my friend asked him how long he'd been working there for. He kind of brushed this off and started walking to his car. And what I saw was so horrifying and chilling, I'll never forget it until the day I die. I saw another shadow crawling behind the seats and looking at us. I quickly shut the door as fast as my arms could go, and then I locked it and got the hell upstairs and grabbed my phone, and without even thinking, I called my parents. I remember screaming,
Mum, there's these men outside, and they're trying to...
There was dead silence. Crap, my phone, it was dead. The other phone was downstairs, and I could now hear them in the house. I don't know how they got in, but somehow they were inside. My room doesn't have a lock, so I just thought, we're screwed. I waited for a sound, but there was nothing, just silence. That is, until my friend and I, we hear a car door. And then, not even a minute later, someone is trying to get in the door. I pushed my desk in front of it. This is it, I thought. This is the end. But then, it just stopped. We waited a few moments, and then we went downstairs, and we opened the front door. To our surprise, the real pizza delivery man was standing there. He almost looked more frightened than we were. We called the police, and my parents, they were called as well. One of the policemen came over to me and my friend, and what he told us made me sick. He said that they found the car that we described, and it was abandoned on the side of the road, and inside the car there was tape, a camera, knives, boots with spikes, and a lot more stuff I can't even say because I didn't understand it all. My friend later told me she saw the man in the car when I was getting my shoes, and she said the man told her something she'll never forget. He said to my friend that he thought that she was pretty, and that he would take her, too. G'day mates, it's B-Buster here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video guys. And you know what? I had this elaborate joke to tell you guys about pizza, but it's just too cheesy to share. Thanks again to the Hive members that bravely shared their story for us all here, and I hope you're all doing really well. And also, just a big thank you to everyone who actually requested these stories. I got a lot of requests for these pizza delivery stories, so thanks again for the ideas and yeah, sharing what you guys want to see. For the chance to have your story feature in a video, you can send your story to my email, which is in the description below. And as always, keep them coming guys, as this channel relies upon your stories to continue. Also, please do me a favor and just state in your email what your story is about in the description, and also provide me with a short written statement of consent, just so that I can be above board with everything. And also, remember to tell me in the email if you want to remain anonymous, and please change any names if you don't want particular names to be shared. As always guys, it would be awesome if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates throughout the week. You can also catch me on my second channel, all of which have links in the description below. Thanks again for always tuning in, for all the love and support, and I'll see you mates in the next one.